comeback last night in Milwaukee. Joining us now, the host of MLB.com's Morning Lineup podcast, Will Leitch. Will, long-suffering Mets fans across the globe never saw this coming. They thought they were doomed again. Take us through it.
Oh, it was incredible. You know, realized that Devin Williams, the closer from Milwaukee, had given up one homer all year. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And Pete Alonso was in a massive slump. He hadn't hit a homer in about a month. He was 5 for his last 41. And then Mets fans ascended to the astral plane last night. It was really kind of ridiculous what happened. I discourage any children watching who can read lips to watch the highlight of Alonso going around the bases, because he was pretty incredible. It was a wild scene last night.
And the Mets magic continues, Will. So let's look ahead here to the divisional round. We have 4 great matchups, but let's start with this one. The Mets now play their division rival Philadelphia Phillies. Remarkably, this is the first time these two teams will ever meet in the postseason. We played earlier Bruce Springsteen's campaign ad endorsing Kamala Harris. It occurs to us that this is actually the battle of the Springsteen fan base right here. Phillies might be the best team top to bottom in the league, but the Mets are rolling.
Yeah, the Mets are really since Grimace, right? Since the Grimace thing earlier this year, the Mets have been just kind of this ridiculous story for months now. Remember, they had that incredible last day doubleheader against the Braves where Francisco Lindor had his big homer. But the Phillies, you know, this is a team that's built to win right now, right? They've got Bryce Harper, who famously, the Nationals won a World Series right after he left. This is one of the best players. It's really kind of the only thing his resume is missing. They are very built to win now, but the Mets, I mean, the Mets got vibes, as they say. It's really kind of incredible what there's going on. Those two teams have never played. I'm just assuming that Chase Utley is going to show up and there's going to be some sort of fight.
You know, I always think, when I think about the playoffs and how wild they can be, I think about the Cardinals. I think the 2006 Cardinals that won 83 games and ended up winning the World Series. You never know what's going to happen. I got to say, so I've got a friend who's been suffering with Cleveland his entire life. He weeps bitterly when I'm about to say the Indians, when the Guardians get kicked out of, you know, when they lose and get thrown out of the playoffs. But I said to him a couple days ago, I go, who do you want, the Astros or the Tigers? He goes, oh, the Tigers. I go, be careful what you wish for. This team is hot. I told him I thought he wanted the Astros because these Tigers, man, a team this hot in August and September, you want nothing to do with, do you, Will?
Oh, yeah. I mean, please thank you for bringing up my 2006 Cardinals, because that was a team that was miserable until suddenly they were unstoppable. And I think the Tigers are clearly that way. Remember, they traded away Jack Flaherty, who will be pitching for the Dodgers in their playoff series at the deadline, because they thought they were done. They have completely taken off. Now, listen, they've got a lot of great young players. And listen, Tarek Skubal, their starter, is going to not only win the Cy Young, he won the pitching Triple Crown last year. But their manager, A.J. Hinch, who, of course, was part of that Astros team, and actually lost his job because of the banging scandal, as they called it. He's the manager of the Tigers. He says that the rest of their staff, he said, these Tarek Skubal and, quote, pitching chaos. They're like using openers, they're throwing guys together. They have been unstoppable really for about a month now. They were completely out of the playoffs. They were down to 0.7% chance to make it, and they just knocked the Astros out, who had made 7 consecutive ALCSs. I have to say, I get the Astros idea, but I would want nothing to do with the Tigers right now.
So, Will, everyone here and everyone watching, obviously rooting for the Royals against the Yankees, so we'll set that series aside. Instead, let's talk Dodgers-Padres. Shohei Ohtani, one of the great seasons ever, 50-50. His first playoff appearance, first playoff game ever, will be tomorrow. But yet, this is a Dodgers team, for as star-studded as they are, that, like the last couple years, goes into the postseason with real pitching questions. And this Padres team does not. What do you think is going to happen in that series?
Yeah, that's what's kind of funny about that. The Dodgers spent all this money this offseason not just on Shohei, but on Yamamoto, who will be starting Game 1, but has injury troubles all year. There'll be no Clayton Kershaw. There'll be no Walker Buehler will be pitching this series, but there'll be no Tyler Glass. Now the Dodgers rotation is in tatters, so they're going to be relying on Shohei, who again has never played a playoff game. Remember how exciting it was when he played in the World Baseball Classic, when he struck out Mike Trout, and how thrilling that was. That's the biggest stage we've really seen for him. He finally gets that. But the Padres rotation, remember the Padres last year, they had Juan Soto and the Cy Young winner Blake Snell, lost both of them and are better and are actually have a chance to take out the Dodgers this year. This looks like one of the best Padres teams they've ever had. Putting them up against Shohei, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, that great MV3 that the Dodgers have. And remember, these teams, this is a SoCal rivalry. Like the Padres have been trying to, the Dodgers have been the Greyhound, the rabbit that the Greyhounds have been trying to capture for years and years and years. They haven't been able to catch them. That series has so much history and will have so much kind of vitriol.
So, Will, let me borrow from Chris Matthews and ask you to tell me one thing that I don't know about this playoff and one thing that we don't know and we should be looking for.
So my dirty secret about these playoffs, I actually don't think there's a lot of villains. Now, I know some people will say the Yankees, obviously, but really, the Yankees, this is a team that hasn't made the play. I mean, listen, it's fine. If you don't want to, if you think the Yankees are villains, I'm not going to stand in your way. But this actually is kind of a likable Yankees team. Aaron Judge has had this incredible year.
Will, stop it.
With you.
I'm sorry.
If you see Baltimore in 7, he really starts to grow on you as he's trying to kill everybody. Will, what are you talking about?
Cut his mic.
I'm just saying listen, I'm not calling the Yankees scrappy underdogs, but they haven't been listen, the Royals have been to 2 World Series since the Yankees have. I mean, if anyone's the underdog this series, it's the Yankees.
No.
Yeah, well.
Just kidding.
That's gross. What a gross thing to hear.
It's really sick.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
I'm sorry. I just report the news, friends.
Instead of tell me something, I don't know. That's more like tell me something that's going to make me gag. Come on, Will. What in the holy hell? What are you doing?
Listen, I'm in Athens. We're still sore about football last weekend.
Yeah. What's that?
I'm in Athens. We're still sore about the game last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That was a crazy game. It's a game that, weirdly enough, I know that when you lose, and nobody can be happy about that. But Georgia fans had to feel after the game was over, all right, we got these guys. We're going to see them again. We can take them apart. Whereas if you're an Alabama fan like me, you're sitting there going, yeah, we won, and a win's a win. But, that was ugly in the second half.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at Kirby Smart, who again has won 2 national championships in Georgia, I think half of his losses now are to Alabama. Even now, it's not just Saban, right? Now it's DeBoer who's able to beat him as well. That comeback was fantastic, but I think it's reasonable for a Georgia fan to be like, wow, are we ever we beat them in the national championship game, but they still seem to have our number even with Saban.
Well, yeah, and the crazy thing is about those wins, I think back probably 3 of the I've been an Alabama fan, since the mid 70s. 3 of the greatest games I've ever seen have been 3 games where we played Georgia, and we won all 3 of them. Coincidence, but one is that SEC championship game where you guys got tackled on the 2-yard line. That still was as nerve-wracking as any game. And then, of course, you had the Tua game where he came back, which was just insanity. And then this last week's game, every Alabama-Georgia game ends up being a classic. We happen to win most of them, but still, man, those are 2 teams that are so evenly matched.
And we could get 2 more this year. They can play in the SEC championship game and in the playoffs this year. So I'm game for a best of 3, like the wild card series in baseball. We'll have a best of 3 series between Alabama and Georgia this year.
And again, because Mika's not here, let's talk about something we both agree on probably. The Atlanta Falcons. I've been, unfortunately, a Falcon fan my entire life. And they kind of look like they're starting to get it. And you look back, you look and looks like their offseason investment is working.
Yeah, it was funny because a lot of people criticized them for bringing in Kirk Cousins because they just drafted Michael Penix in the first round. He's been terrific. The defense really is the thing for the Falcons. It didn't look so last night because it was a high-scoring game, but that's actually a really good defense. The Falcons are forever a team, as you know, are kind of pushing the rock up the hill and almost quite get there. I'm always afraid down here to say the numbers either 28 or 3 at any point at all in the Georgia area. But there's no question. There's something good about this team, and Cousins is a perfect fit for them. That was a terrific win last night.
And Cousins was doing a great job last night. Looked very calm in the pocket. And we never talk about 28.
Some of us do.
To 3. No, we don't. My brother called me up. My brother called me up at the end of the 3rd quarter in that game. He said, "Can you believe we're going to win the Super Bowl?" I hung up on him. Never, ever. It's never over until it's over. And unfortunately, Will, our time is over. MLB.com's Will Leach, you are the best. Go Dogs.
With
I
one
said it.
small exception.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Reverend Al, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How you have a great birthday yesterday?
A good birthday. I mean, well, Monday night was the big thing in Lincoln Center.
Right.
Where Gladys Knight serenaded me. It was the good night. Kamala Harris did a video. But last night, which was my actual birthday, was home with the family. Kamala Harris did call.
Yeah.
And I got the great news from Tyree Nichols' parents called me to say that they convicted the police and that had beat their son to death in Memphis, which I had done the eulogy, and Vice President Harris came. So it was a great birthday. I entered my 70s in style. I started with Mika yesterday morning.
Looking fit. It's happening.
Jonathan Lemire was part of the party.
I was. We're very happy. Happy birthday, Rick.
Jonathan, how many birthdays have you had Gladys Knight singing for
You know, I was just doing a mental tally, and that has yet to happen for me.
Same.
He gets Adele.
One of these days, though.
Adele does his.
Same here.
I can't afford it.
Yeah, no, he does get, though, a sort of a stand-in imitation Pips. They will come.
Yeah.
And you just get the leaving.
If it's like a matinee, though, I can't get
Leaving
midnight.
on a midnight train.
Yeah, during the day, maybe. At night, I can't.
Yeah, that's what you get at your birthday. You get Gladys. She's so great.
Yeah, she's
I love
great.
her so much.
And still at top form.
Oh, that's fantastic. So speaking of incredible singers, incredible musicians, Jonathan had mentioned earlier that Bruce Springsteen endorsed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Here again is a video the boss posted on Instagram yesterday.
Hi, I'm Bruce Springsteen. Friends, fans, and the press have asked me who I'm supporting in this most important of elections. And with full knowledge that my opinions no more or less important than those of any of my fellow citizens, here's my answer. I'm supporting Kamala Harris for president and Tim Walz for vice president, and opposing Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Here's why. We are shortly coming upon one of the most consequential elections in our nation's history. Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment. It doesn't have to be this way. The common values, the shared stories that make us a great and united nation are waiting to be rediscovered and retold once again. Now, that will take time, hard work, intelligence, faith, and women and men with the national good guiding their hearts. America is the most powerful nation on earth, not just because of her overwhelming military strength or economic power, but because of what she stands for, what she means, what she believes in: freedom, social justice, equal opportunity, the right to be and love who you want. These are the things that make America great. Donald Trump is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime. His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy, the sanctity of the rule of law, and the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone, regardless of class, religion, race, your political point of view, or sexual